This is what happens when you assume you might get a review that you didn't think you were going to get from the thumbnail. Hope you don't mind getting clickbaited. The Hunt is a darkly comedic and politically charged iteration of Richard Connell's The Most Dangerous Game, and is about a group of strangers who wake up in an unknown area, but very quickly find themselves in the line of gunfire. They discover that they were kidnapped for the political views that they express on social media, and are being hunted down by wealthy leftists who dub them as deplorables. One of these abducted people is a woman named Crystal, played by Betty Gilpin, who leads the retaliation and the search for the mastermind of the plot, played by Hilary Swank. As the fantastic poster proudly declares, this movie was first scheduled for release on September 27th, before being delayed to this really bad time. The studio was pressured into pushing it back because of the mass shootings in Dayton and El Paso that happened soon before, and it's a movie about Americans killing Americans. I don't think the change in release was a good decision. If the determination of it being the wrong time is based on the simple fact that violence has recently occurred in America, then there really was never going to be a right time to release the movie. I mean, there was a shooting here in Seattle a few months ago. The movie wasn't without other controversy. After the trailer dropped, dozens of media outlets immediately called it a glorification of violence, a disturbance to the country, and so on. But this premature criticism actually helped prove part of the movie's point, so the marketing team used it to their advantage, promoting The Hunt as the most talked about movie of the year, and it's one that no one's actually seen. Other assumptions made about the movie came from conservatives who saw the image of Trump supporters being hunted down and took it to be a shameless left-wing revenge fantasy. This confused me because it seemed to me from the trailers that the Trump supporters were the heroes. Now, having seen the movie, I can say that that's not exactly true, but the hunters are not portrayed as heroic either. The one solitary hero is Crystal, who is kind of an odd one out among the abducted. There are things we learn about her later that led to her abduction. Betty Gilpin, who first entered my radar last year with The Dog's Journey, she rocks the performance as this real observant woman who just does not give a rip. She's not about being political, she's just barreling through anybody who stands in her path to survival. And the important thing to consider with this movie is that it is a satire, and it takes shots at people on both sides who make everything about politics. There's a scene where Crystal and another guy climb into a boxcar, and they run into a group of ethnic people, one with a baby, who seem to be taking shelter there as well. The guy witlessly jumps to the conclusion that they're crisis actors who are part of some liberal agenda to change his views on illegal immigration. Have no fear, fellow conservatives, there's also plenty of fun poked at SJWs who bicker inanely with each other about what PC terms they need to use, or who get upset when somebody naturally addresses a group of friends as guys when there's a woman present. Now, I'm generally not a fan of over-the-top gore, and there are some scenes of carnage near the beginning that felt really excessive, but for the most part, I think it works here. Thinking of it as an extravagant manifestation of internet trolls and petty fights is downright amusing. And the movie does have something to say about toxic internet culture, much of which comes from the discovery of what the motivations of Hilary Swank's character are, a reveal that is hinted at too heavily in the movie's trailers. Why trailers gotta ruin everything these days. But without giving it away myself, it makes a point about online accusations of radicalism. You know, things like, you support Trump, you're a racist, or you don't support Trump, you're a thug from Antifa. The Hunt makes a statement that when people hear such accusations enough, it can help push them further to extremism, so those kinds of absolute assertions can become self-fulfilling prophecies. It reminds me of that TED Talk with Theo E.J. Wilson, where he touches on how the demonization of white people has contributed to the creation of white supremacists. It's a good listen, the link will be in the description. So overall, The Hunt is an audacious and very funny social satire that is totally nuts and yet has a sane message. It's charmingly acted, and also has a very fitting musical score that's strangely creepy and jovial at the same time. And while others have said without seeing the movie that it stokes division, I argue that it has more potential to unify. I feel that one of the things that makes you most approachable to people who don't share your views is when you have the ability to laugh at lunacy on your side as well as the other. And because this movie fires shots at hyperpartisanship in general, it makes for an entertaining time for conservatives and liberals alike. It's on digital now, so I recommend checking it out. It's probably the best movie of 2020 so far. Scoring on the Factor Facts, I'm giving The Hunt a 72%. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.